working? Let's see, is this microphone working correctly? My computer got updated. All right, cool. We're good. Opening here around. Oh, I don't want to hear myself. Sorry. Around VWAP, the overnight low kind of printed on the previous day low, 19,500. So I'm moving the overnight low to around the midnight level. I have been coding up a trading indicator on TradingView, and it stops plotting at midnight. I can't get that issue to stop, but those levels seem to be active, so I'm going to leave them there for now anyway, just to see what kind of movement we get there, just to have it as an indicator. I'm not going to use it as an execution spot quite yet. I do want to see what happens through that price point. It is Friday. Rollover is coming, so we are going to be patient. We're going to let this thing do its thing. Could just, after the kind of movement that we've had this week, we did anticipate this kind of rally to pop off on, through that 18,400 was my upside target for a break and run. So we got well through 18.4. The idea being, what day was that? May. Wow. What is going on with this? This is the wrong contract. NQ1. I'm looking at my other screen, so just give me a second. Yeah, the idea was that we were going to pop through and break out to 19,398.50, which we did on Wednesday on the inflation print. And then we popped off further. We'll go over to this chart. Ignore the entry criteria and stuff. That's just the editor. Trying to run a back test on these. These aren't actual entries or anything like that. What's up?
Daddy, Max scratched me like.
Oh my goodness.
Here and here and here and here.
Was that just now? The second?
No,
or before when you're in the bathroom?
Bathroom.
Okay, we'll take care of it. Okay. I'll be right there. Looking at this chart here, up over 398.50. We broke up, and then we held above it and just continued to rally. The continuous contract already rolled to the next contract, so we are looking at levels that are well above kind of where we're at now on the current contract. This has rolled to September. Excuse me. But the price action is very similar, right? We've just kind of been popping around up here at these highs. So I'm not looking at this concurrent contract right now. I'm still, the higher volume, I believe, is still on June, but that'll be done likely this week. So Monday we'll probably roll. You'll notice the levels will change on Top Step X automatically. You don't get a chance to choose your month. It's just the most liquid contract that they provide in the front. So right now it's still that. Good morning, Charles. How we doing? Got 5 minutes till open. I set the levels here. Previous high and overnight high were basically the same level, so I popped this down a little. Actually, I popped this down a little bit, and then the overnight low, I left it at the midnight level because the overnight low technically is sitting right on the previous day low. So we are going to be watching that previous day low as an interesting level. I'm okay, Charlie. It's Friday. It's rollover season. I don't know, all-time high levels. Not my top trading scenario for me. That's why I'm still just trying to load up on combines, doing stuff like that. You can see I have one trade here, or more than one. I'm going to come out here real quick. Took a quick little loss on it, but I was just messing around with some levels, trying to work on some stuff while I was coding last night. Couple good trades worked out, but then I took one quick loss on the combine. I try to size up on the overnight sessions and just try to let things move around. So we're going to start the day with a little bit down. I would look to go long on a rejection of 500. That would be my area of interest down here at 5. Um, I would anticipate the first move to be more downside a little bit. We do have numbers coming out at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we do have. Um, what is going on? Today's Friday. Friday. Oh, let's reset this. For some reason, it's next week already. Do Friday the 14th. There we are. Michigan consumer sentiment, 9 a.m. That's the number that we're going to see some algo pop on, see some movement. So we are looking at that to kind of be choppy prior to that as well. So just be mindful of it. If you see coming into 9 o'clock, you're flat, but you're coming into a level, let things settle down and then execute from there. Exports and imports came in negative for the exports. Imports came in lower than anticipated. So, take that with whatever it is, that it's just balance of trade stuff. This consumer sentiment is a mover for the algos. Everything seems to have been coming in where we still have inflation. Things are still going. I mean, the economy is still kind of crabby. Jobs are still not that great. And we're still just pumping all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. And I think Fed's really hinting being stagnant with rates for a while and still all-time high levels. So market's kind of irrational, and that's the good old saying, right? Markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent, and that's true for everything. I think you just got to be patient, let things work out, and then just kind of take everything one day at a time. Not come in with a real bias of like where you believe the market should be. Coming in with a good bias of directionality, momentum, price targets, stuff like that is good. But right now I don't have any we're right on the VWAP, right? So it could go straight up. It could go straight down. It could stay within this range here. Realistically speaking, let's see if I can find this contract. NQM 2024. Yeah, I think that bottom, that 500 level is a good area of support for a bounce. I think overhead, we do have the 600 level, that's 601 up to 610. So 601 to 610, so right around this range here could be a good area of overhead resistance. So just wait and see kind of which direction it's going. Tilt's heavy long right now, so potentially could be an opening range breakdown is what I could look for as well. So with this heavy tilt right here, I don't know if you can see it great. I just kind of pulled it up, but 74% long on the tilt meter. My delta, I'm waiting for that to pop up, and we are open. So let's see what happens with this price. Let it dance around a bit here on Friday. Friday. Keep your money if you made money. If you lost money, don't lose extra. It's just a good summertime trading session with rollover imminent. Makes things a little weird, rollover. There's a free reset. If you're in Top Step, is the free reset code. If you want it. If you want it on Top Step. Let's see if I have an account that I can reset just for shits and gigs. Billing dates. Why not get a free account here? 623, 623, 76. And uncancel this one. Still just right on the VWAP. Nothing that I want to trade, right? Oh, okay, I got you. I'm gonna always post in here if I see that they give out any codes. Morning, Jofi. So, like I said, they just mentioned in their chat that they're gonna be using. If you need a free reset on any of your accounts, use code HOAG HOAG, and that'll be good all day today. So, if you do burn an account today or something, that's a good code that they just announced. So. Don't be afraid to use it. Periodically, they do give out free resets here and there from their channel. It's all eval resets, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you could use, anytime I send a code in here, it's something that they send out or talk about. A lot of times they'll have a time frame when you could use those code, or if there's a like a max limit of how many that they can use. Like sometimes it's like the first 2,000 people can use it. So just be mindful of like when I do send those out. I'll usually give you a time frame, but today I think it's still the end of the trading day, so you're good. If you burn something during the day, just use that code. I am gonna try and reset one of the other burnt ones I have. The ineligible. $606. What's 606? I don't know that in here. That's funny. I passed that combine. 51, 34 or 80. So no trades yet so far. We have been just lingering around VWAP here. You can see I have a trade on there, but that's from last night. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I'm trying to see which code I could reset. 634. That's not the right one. All right, let's figure this out. Billing. I would like this to get up into that 601 to fail that and start to rotate us back down. Then maybe I'll take a crack of a low of like maybe a trend line break or something like that. I'm not really too concerned about my thing. Let it burn, baby. Let it burn. Had a good 2 days training. Pretty tiring. Today, really don't expect a ton of really good opportunities, if any. Really could be in this range. It could be in this range pretty much all day. With rollover really gets kind of messy. So just understand that that's the thing that could happen to you. Just chop back and forth. Could grind straight higher, not provide an opportunity to get in. Don't get caught trying to fade the pops. Don't get caught trying to just short everything here. I think really we do have up to 601. I think 601, probably 601 to 610. Even up into 620 is a good area that potentially shorts could come in. However, I don't know if that's the case, right? I mean, we never know anything perfectly. So we're just going to kind of sit here. With futures, rollover happens quarterly, depending on the contracts, right? So Nasdaq and S&Ps are quarterly contracts. So the June contract is currently the front month. However, the September, July, August, yeah, the September contract is starting to gain volume. So once they switch, it's called rollover. Rollover will slow everything down. It is a Friday in the summer as well, so that's another reason. You had all this data that came out this week, so digestion of the data. So there's a lot of reasons of confluence, but the biggest thing is the rollover of contracts. The volume is switching from the June contract to the September contract, and once that September contract is the higher volume traded contract, usually they roll it after the second Friday. We would roll. The contract actually expires at the end of the month, but the rollover usually happens today into the weekend, and then Monday you start trading the September contract or whatever the next contract would be. So rollover is something that you do have to keep in mind. Could create some liquidity problems because some people that were trading this month have already rolled. The bigger players are already starting to roll their positions into that September month. They've been doing it all month. That's another reason why June's a little weird. End of quarters are always a little funky. I don't have anything doing right now. I think we just wait, see, kind of. Does that make sense, Jofi? About the rollover and stuff? Cool. Yeah, that's something that people who come from the CFD world don't really know about. People who come from like spies and Qs don't really understand, don't see that because the rollover doesn't really kind of affect that. Yeah, you could always go over to the CME group. I'll pull that up in a second. Give me a second. I'm trying to get rid of this free reset. When they give out free resets, just be patient with Top Step's platform as far as the back end because there's thousands of people just bumping free resets through there. Yours will go through it. It will work most of the time. It just takes a little bit of time. Yeah, it just loads a lot because there's thousands of people just trying to pump into their site. I finally got mine to load. I was just trying to check and see which account I wanted to do it on. Not these ones that I'm on right now. So that's another reason why Top Step's pretty great. There's a lot of reasons why I like them, but if you just kind of keep Top Step TV on in the background and linger around their content, obviously it gets them viewers. They do well that way. So then when you're out, listening, they'll throw out free reset codes. They'll throw out discount codes for stuff. It's not like the constant Apex sale, 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 sale. It's limited in scope, so they kind of they don't give it out to everybody. They don't give it out all the time. But when they do give it out, it's worth you taking the chances on your combines because you get the opportunity to reset it or get a discounted combine and you'll be fine. I would recommend not. Yeah. So the $49 one, I have one that's at $20. It's at 19, I should say. Sometimes they throw it to 29. I have two left that are at $4.50 because I was a beta tester, technically, I guess, of the Top Step X. So they allowed us to get up to 5 for $4.50, and I've passed a couple of them. They send it out. They'll just at random times. They might send it out today as well because I know they were hinting at some other code. I'm kind of lingering around. What number comes out of 45? No. Yeah, see that 601 level got tagged. You got a little reaction from it. That was the technically up until midnight low. But we have some reaction. Like I said, I think we do push up into 620, 610 to 620, that area there. You could see that little bit of consolidation in that range. And then, I mean, honestly, it could go anywhere it wants. It's been just in pump mode for a while. I don't know why my stream goes away at times. There we go. Yeah, the 21, they may give it away today. So the $20 ones, we'll see. Sorry, Jofi. I just watch Top Step TV in the background while I'm on this. And then I just pay attention to what they're doing sometimes. Like when I'm in a point where I really want resets, or if I think I want to buy new combines and stuff. Because honestly, right, they're now allowing 5 XFAs, right? So if I can maximize my 5 XFAs and just be trading those, I kind of still have them on the background, because then I can buy if they do a $19 one or something like that. And then have a couple just waiting to get activated in the background if I burn one or something like that. So that's the goal for this, to having them. But to keep track of them, I watch Top Step TV on YouTube, and I know when they tend to give things out. Sometimes they give them out right early, straight off the jump in the morning, like they just did today. They also do something that they call Top Quiz. So they do quizzes like every day around noon, I think, or noon Central Time. Sorry, my back is bothering me. Ugh. Upper back spasms are the worst, because trying to talk, you kind of lose your breath on it. It's weird. Lost my train of thought. Trying to find a trading opportunity that I don't see anything for. Right? I'm calling this the overnight low. This is not technically my overnight low. My overnight low is right here, down at these lows at 501. I noticed that it came right into the previous day low, so I needed to just use this level as another key level. That's just, if it says overnight low there, it's not. It's only the low between 1700 and basically right into here, and then it broke down. So it's like a breakdown point where I was pretty interested in that being a reactive area. Pretty much could be the previous day's low there. It's 583 is interesting as well, right? That's basically VWAP. The way this market's been acting, I could see this thing just continuing straight up after the number, just because it does what it wants to do. Little GameStop update. It looked like Roaring Kitty exercised his calls. So I don't know if he exercised or sold, but he no longer holds those. But he's got about 9 million some odd shares. So I think he's doing all right. Price is pushing up over $30. Here's the GameStop chart for you. If you're interested in that, I think it's interesting just to kind of keep tabs on. Not that I have any. I have AMC at 550, so I'm at break even. There you go. Two big shares on AMC. As you know, right now I'm a futures trader, so I don't really have equities positions. That one's just a fun one. We're going to go to NVIDIA. NVIDIA kind of giving us a pullback on the overnight session right into yesterday's highs. If NVIDIA could just continue this, straight up move, people don't realize that this technically equates to NVIDIA continuing to make all-time highs, right? Even though we're at 130, $128, that's where we were when they did the 10-to-1, right? The 10-to-1 split us down into this range here, and then now you're just pushing higher and higher and higher. As I thought we would get in my write-up, if you read the write-up at all, NVIDIA, I anticipated slight pullback, not much. Pretty much got like a breather and then a push up, because really people are just like, oh man, I couldn't afford NVIDIA, I can't trade it, and then now it's $100 and something now, instead of $1,000, and they're like, let's go, let's buy it. So it's just gonna be kind of one of those. I'm not AMC, AMD. You can see, oh, that's not it. AMD also pushing up. The whole Soxel sector, probably the chipset sector, has been on the lows here. Pushed that down into the lows overnight, but still very bullish. right? We're getting pushes up over into that 620, 19,620, right where I mentioned there. So let's get back to Microsoft quick just to take a look. Pushing up. Apple, I mentioned up to 200. We went well through 200, up into 220. And like I've mentioned, like you've seen probably on Dexstream, the market is completely irrational compared to the actual data being released. So, oh, I'm sorry. I need like a heating pad or something. Whew, that is quite annoying. Microsoft up to 441. All right, so that's that free reset we just used. Now we got a third that we're rocking and rolling with. Last night, like I said, I took so this account, the leader account, I took an oil trade, I took a gold trade, and I took a banger S&P trade. NQ trade. My oil lost me 490. The gold trade lost me 270. And then the the NQ trade made me 6 and change. And then I took one more NQ short over here at midnight-ish while I was coding. And I just kind of saw this wedging pattern coming into play. And I decided, I'm going to try this short. It kind of was like dancing around too much, and I was going to go to bed. So I just cut it for an $80 loss. That was on 5 contracts, trying to kind of leverage this. Obviously, I should have probably just set it and forget it and went to bed. Although it could have easily just continued to do what it normally does. So that's just the kind of transparency of what I've been doing on this account on the overnight. That's why it looks the way it does. So really, I made some good trades. I'm trying to work some strategies in other assets, so I can help out, be a little bit more helpful with those things. So on the overnight, trying some of these metals, the golds, the oil, all that stuff. I tried to play just like a momentum continuation type play, and that obviously didn't work on that. So we're going to watch this overnight high, previous day high zone here, see if that's going to be something that we're interested in. Obviously, all-time highs are right here at, what did we call it, 691. So that's that all-time high level. Do I have that here? That's previous all-time highs. All the way down there is where we broke out from, that 19,154. And I'm just kind of talking through what I'm seeing on this chart. Looks like a little bullish flag type deal, but could be a rejection of the highs, even though all overnight highs for S&Ps is well up above us, so nowhere near. We're kind of in the middle. That's another indication for this to be kind of a grinding to the high side for the NQ, because usually the S&Ps reacting around levels will get us to kind of stop in our direction and start to move the other way with the NQs. But right now, I'm not seeing that right now, because the S&Ps is so far away from that overnight level. This level, like I said, I put it here. That's 644. That was the high prior to midnight, right here. That was the level I was reacting with while I was attempting that short over that time. I just cut myself on it kind of quick because I just wanted to go to bed. Spending a lot of time coding, trying to get this thing to debug. I'm not really doing a ton of the grunt work. I have the AI bots trying to do it. However, trying to get them to do what you want to do is basically coding in itself. So just having a fun time trying to code it out. I'm getting my levels to work almost there. This strategy is showing profitability. However, it's an interesting way it's plotting and doing everything. So, right here you can see it executes orders only during market hours, which is what I want it to do. It's using the levels a little weird, and it just goes time frame by time frame. So if we go down to the 1 minute, where I trade, and trying to get signals for it, right now, if we use today's live video here, it has gone long from just over VWAP over there at, then it closed short, which it's a little wonky with the way I have to code up cumulative delta, all that stuff. So it's just a little weird the way it's doing things right now. But it does. You can see that it does execute orders. It's trying to short this high based on delta, but it didn't quite get to that level yet. So I have instructed it to short through my levels, and it's not listening. So I'm trying to adjust the code to where it works. So if you see like these, this is just basically forward testing. So if you see it on my chart, it's not actual executions. It's just testing out in a demo environment. So it's just trying to get my levels to plot, trying to automate this strategy to a point where I can show an indicator, let it do its thing, and even maybe automate an account or two. Yeah, this is kind of what I anticipated, right? I said it's going to be a slow grind or a level where it's just going to stay in this slow, low range. My problem with the way price has been acting this week, even to some of the data and some of the news, is that it just wants highs. It just wants to keep going higher, but this is not going to provide me an opportunity to get long, right? And I'm not perma bear in any sense of the way, right? Obviously, I understand that bulls take control. The indexes are skewed to go up, right? They are the 100 best companies. They are the higher performers. They are going to be heavily tech weighted. Tech is in the forefront. Like all of that makes this want to go up, right? However, my long strategies aren't going to be long breakouts, right? My long strategy is going to be trying to get something to happen at the previous day low, at the overnight low, and then rotate that through the highs and then carry that momentum that way. So basically, you need that little bit of a pullback, that manipulation, that breather to get myself long, right? To try and play a long where I'm just pulling back to VWAP and running. Like obviously people have this strategy and it works, but for me, I just don't trust it enough where I have tested and seen success for it for myself, especially because I'm tight with stops and whatnot. I'm able to limit my losses better around these overnight levels and previous day levels. Around VWAP, you can see price can come pretty deep. It can come, all the way up and over and come right back down below, right? This level here, if you were trying to play a long off VWAP, you get smoked, then it dumps down, then you're right the second, third time through VWAP. And then here too, it pulls down through it, pushes back up. So it's hard to limit your risk. Yes, it's reactive. Yes, there's interest, but there's too much interest for me at that VWAP area. That's why I use it more as a target. There's going to be that number in 5 minutes. Technically, right, this number should be shitty. Consumer sentiment. Nobody I've met, rich, poor, middle class, working, drug dealer, nobody out there is saying that this economy is getting strong. It's good, right? So consumer sentiment index should be not good, right? It should be a bad number. But who knows? Like, they skew these. They only, do this thing with polls and stuff. Like, people answering the polls, I don't know. They're just picking senators. I don't know who's saying that this economy is great. University of Michigan consumer sentiment for U.S. was revised higher in May, but remaining lowest in 6 months. Inflation expectations for a year ahead increased less than initially anticipated. So really what it's saying is people think inflation is going to happen. They think it's going to happen a little less than it's been happening, but that they're confident that it's going to do that. That's what that sentiment is, right? So I think if it's higher than they expect and, they're anticipating somewhere in the 70s, then they're anticipating 72. If that number comes out higher, it's all a rigged game. They set the numbers. They set the anticipation. So if it beats, then it's supposedly good, even though it's still a bad number. It's fun to get into the macro environment and understand the numbers that they're providing are pretty much just numbers that they make up in order to get what they want out of whatever their plan is. So you have to kind of detach from reality. Sorry. Back spasms are bad. Okay. You got to detach from reality and then really get into market maker land and into Fed heads and all that stuff. They don't live in the real world. They live in data. They live in in Washington. So just keep that in mind when you are making decisions around numbers. You don't have to know what they mean. You don't have to know what they even do, right? You don't even need to know what the number is. You just have to know that a number is coming out and know that inflation is bad. Rate hikes are bad. Rate cuts good, but it doesn't matter because the market's gone straight up in spite of expecting 3 rate cuts, getting 0, and pushing back the one that they think that they're going to do till later in the year. You know, that's use your head. There's your trend for the day. See what happens with it. Yep, news coming out 3 whole minutes. So if you are not in a position, I would stay flat. If you are in a position and in the money decently, or you have multiple positions on, maybe secure a position. Just to understand where your stops are still good, still invalid, because these algos can push price pretty hard in either direction. And obviously, I mean, they're the ones that are moving this because people aren't pushing this higher. 1 minute till we get this news number. See what happens with this whippy action. You're not. What is going on? My dome is messed up. There we go. I'll just leave it where it is. This 630 level has a lot of orders at it. It's pretty decent. Volume 13 seconds here. For me, we got 13 seconds, so gauge how far behind you are in my stream based on that. Whippy action could get up into that 643, 663, 665 area. All right, you can see how whippy that dome gets. Look at how spready that gets with the algos. That's why you don't play in it, because, look at that spread. You can get filled, slipped crazily. Let this thing dance around some. Came in at 65.6. Consensus was 672. Previously at 69.1. So you tell me what that means. All right, so dome is starting to settle down a little bit. Algos are starting to get out some. You can see this starting to clean back up, not getting really spready. Still a little bit of a spread, but most of the time it's kind of just lingering here. So let's be cautious on that. Adding that to the copier. So there's your news algo rip a rack and run, and now you probably are good for whatever the move is that you're looking to get. It has settled down now for 2 minutes. I still think there's manipulation to be had. Who knows if we get up over this previous day high, how high it can go. I do not. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Now that we got our coffee, we should be able to get some good trades in. Got that trading fuel. S&P's dumping. NQ relatively staying relatively strong. Russell still melting off as well. NQ is still relatively strong. Like I said, it's just it lingers up there. Nvidia holding this up a bit. Your opening range on the minute is down here. 15-minute opening range is here. 30-minute opening range is up in here, right? So if you use different types of ranges, those are notable areas that price likes to react around. I know there's lots of people that play that 15-minute opening range breakout type trade, so that would be still valid. This is basically a retest of that right now. Although momentum seems to be carrying everything else to the downside. Nvidia is still holding up, so that could be what's going on here. Nice little short location up there. I know a lot of people use tick charts, stuff like that. I've never used tick charts. I don't know how they really work, but they do look a little clean on these levels. So I might start looking at them. I always am looking to grow and understand things a little bit better. Let's see what this strategy is doing right now. Yeah, it's not doing great. It's being silly with the way it's ordering, executing and stuff. If anybody's got, I think he does. Yeah, I think he does. He mentioned it to me, I think, when we were up in New York. Yeah, I would, it makes sense, but you're better off just avoiding that news algo because you can see how whippy, how spready it is. You probably won't, realistically. So all of us currently, anybody trading in a combine or any sort of XFA combine, something like that, you have to understand it's still sim, PA, anything until you get put into that fully live, like where they're putting you into a cash account, or if you're trading your own capital, you don't start to see that slippage. With your own capital, this is a very dangerous game to play because the fills are shitty, really, really shitty. I mean, you might get an advantageous fill here and there, but let's say you set a limit order here at 40, you probably get slipped all the way, or not. You might not even get filled, or if you're going to buy momentum or something like that, it just people who are playing the buy side momentum get screwed there because it'll slip and go and run. Limit orders are do okay because they're only going to limit to where you're entered, but you could limit in here and then price can jump to 63 in a second, stop you out before you even know that you're entered into the trade, and then it's back in your direction, right? So it gets very spready, it gets very whippy. There aren't real orders out there. You could see the algos doing a little dance, and then once that settles in, then you start to actually get people involved again, and the algos get away from it and all that stuff. So just something to keep in mind with that. Obviously everybody's game is to play long game, big account size, personal account size. And, in case you are doing that, really, really, that's when you should definitely be avoiding this new stuff. On these combines, on these XFAs, on these prop firm accounts, these funding company accounts, you can get away with it a little bit better than you can on a live environment. So just note that. Like this is the reason I'm avoiding this. I would like it to get up over here, maybe give me a delta divergence up over that. That's not really the overnight high, but like I said, I am going to try and start working some of these levels. This is the midnight high, prior to midnight, so we can kind of mess with that level a little bit. That 44, if it gets up over there with a delta divergence, But we are starting to get some stronger delta coming in here at that low volume node, point right there at 605. So there was the high volume here, low volume, stopped right on a dime, right at the low volume area, and now we're pushing back to the high side. As I mentioned before, yes, I like that 40 level as a rejection, but I think 65s, that upper band of VWAP is reasonable. And with the way this market's been, just straight up action. When does that straight up stop, and when does the correction come in? That's just what we need to wait and see. Could it be next week? After rollover, that could possibly be it. Could it be right now? Could we roll from here and just continue to sell further and further and further down? Maybe. For me, like I said, I'm not really in an area where I'm interested, especially this quasi overnight low. That quasi overnight low is right on top of VWAP. I don't want to play anything where that's there. If this VWAP can get up above this level, then maybe I may be interested in shorting this, because then I have VWAP overhead as that resistance instead of as support right below it, right? Because I can enter here and then just bounce. It could pull into here, pull a little bit deeper. I'm convinced that it's going to go and it's going to bounce on me, right? Yes, it could flush and crack and go, but the likelihood of it holding VWAP for me is more likely, so I'd avoid that short if it's above it. The S&P is just telling a different story, right? Because it is below it. That would be a nice little move. You can see right there, enter, get to VWAP, and immediately reject. And probably would be stopped. That's the kind of moves that you're getting there. 9:09. Been open for just over a half hour. I have 0 trades. I mean, it's Friday. It's rollover. We had this news that just came out with the Michigan consumer sentiment, which came out, and price has moved pretty much nowhere. Good stuff, Joe. If you're up that much on the day, go walk away on a Friday with this price action. Jovi, with the F1 race over there, how is it price wise? Have you ever tried to go? That's one race I definitely want to try and get to. I want to get to Dubai. I want to get to Monaco, and I definitely want to get to Monza. Those are the three. Abu Dhabi. That'd be cool to go to. I would like to go to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, but I don't have any desire to go to Saudi Arabia. So that's just. I don't think the track is as cool as the Abu Dhabi track. The Abu Dhabi track is sweet. Well, make it a point to go this year, or next year, whenever it actually is. So they went to Bahrain too. The Bahrain one looks cool. That's a road track too. It looks, the way it winds through, it looks sweet. Yeah, that's the goal. I want to try and do like a tour of some of the F1 races. Even the ones in the US are wildly, overpriced, but I'm sure that's like that everywhere. I do not, Ray. This is exactly why I'm not playing with this level, although I think it could go short through here. I don't trust it. pushing into the what is that green line? The green line is overnight lows, the pre-midnight overnight low, saying that it's over here at 52, which is not what I have. So 52 is that low. Where am I at? 644 high, 601. Is it adjusting? That's odd. I apologize. $592. Yeah, right there at VWAP. Oh, that's the VWAP. Funny. Gonna turn that to yellow. I like this to sell off, but I'm not trusting it yet. GameStop sold off from 30. Nvidia is still playing with these pre-market highs here at 131. Microsoft, so the bulls are still in control up there on Nvidia. Microsoft pulling back 441, holding just below there. Yesterday's range low was 439 and the high was 443. So we're pretty much dead center of yesterday's range for Microsoft. So that could be choppy. Nvidia, Apple is selling off down below 212 is the support from pre-market. It's sitting right there right now, 212.82. So looking like it wants to sell. Nvidia is still holding highs. This 52 probably going to act as support. This is why I don't short the level through into VWAP right below. If VWAP is extended, then yes, I could use it as a target. But if VWAP's so tight, then I don't use it. God, I love some day trading coffee co. Freshly brewed, freshly roasted. Trading fuel to keep my day going. I will be happy with myself if I take 0 executions today. Just ignore the RPL on the top. The RBNL is from those test trades that I did on oil and gold last night. Those did not work. Those did not work at all. And I only traded one contract. I was trying to understand sizing, trying to understand the tick dollar amounts, certain things like that. So I do that in the combine environment. I do that in a test environment. So I have skin in the game, right? So at least, I paid for a combine. There's a reason to get it right. There's a reason to do it. But also at the same time, trying to develop a strategy that might work there that doesn't necessarily work for the NQ or S&Ps and stuff like that. So those 2 trades did not work last night. I did those while I was working on the coding stuff and trying to develop that indicator or strategy on TradingView. While I was doing that, I was working and seeing some opportunities in these things and took those shots. I also took that NQ short, which definitely worked, which helped cancel out those losses. And then I took a small little shot at a short that I could have probably won on, but I cut it really short and went to bed because I didn't want to have a position while I was sleeping. And as I mentioned, anywhere between 601 to 610 up into 620, that's going to be where the price is going to kind of linger around. And what do you know? That's where we're at right here, right now. Right, we're seeing the price well. We're just not getting anything that's going to be executable for me. Maybe you have some sort of strategy where you're playing pullbacks or breakouts or anything that these trend lines will help you kind of decide on. Just kind of trying to give you levels of where things will react, where things may want to linger, where things want to stay, why I don't take a short through the overnight low that I created magically out of nowhere, this 601 level. Not taking the short because VWAP is right here, because if it goes through here, it's probably going to support on VWAP and then bounce and stop you out. And what do you know? Just giving you that kind of information so you can make your own decisions, right? If you have a level that's so tight to VWAP, close it up. Hit the lock. If you're on Top Step X, hit that lockout button. It's right here on the top right next to your, bars on top. Hit that lockout button so you don't come back later and tell me that you came back on and hit more buttons. Don't be afraid to do it if you're on Top Step 8. All right, Trade of 8, I get it. You don't have that. You can set it up. Trade of 8 has a back end where you can set up daily profit target, loss, or lockout, stuff like that, but it's really P&L based. I don't want to except for combines, the $1,500, 50% of your combine, whatever, that's fine. On a XFA, I don't have a personal daily profit target because I want to extend that as far as I can. If I do pull back a certain dollar amount, I would like it to, stop me from taking money, but that's just me being able to hit that lockout button. Yep, 1.5. It would count, right? You can make your full $3,000 in one day, but then you're gonna have to make $3,000 more. They just adjust it to whatever you've made. You can't make 50% of it in one trading session. It just, to them, it just proves consistency, and I can understand why they do it, right? Taking one YOLO trade isn't teaching you anything. It isn't making you a better trader. So, good stuff, Jove. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, let's see. If you do need a reset, anybody who just came and joined us, the reset code for Top Step is HOAG, HOAG. And it's in the chat. If you're in the YouTube, it's in the chat. HOAG is the reset code for Top Step. It expires today. So use it or lose it. If you need it, good. If you don't need it, even better. Hey, the more the merrier. If you can get funded in 10 different prop firms that you trust, do it. And then, you can have something here, something there, make a trade here, make a trade there, have one account for one thing, one account for another. If you're just totally set on our strategy, which it just triggered on the algo over there, short from 22. Nope, short from 25. Short from 25. Nice top tick there on the delta divergence, I guess. That's why it triggered, right? Made a new higher push on a lower delta. Yeah, I would consider it too, but realistically, like I said, I'm away from my levels. I don't have that. I'm trying to be good about not messing around, away from levels, away from zones that I want to play with. Right now, my idea would be previous day high, failed breakout, attempt to make new all-time highs if they can, up to 72, maybe even up into all-time highs. 700 isn't out of the realm of possibility. Then starting to rotate back below and accept into the previous day range is where I wanted. I wanted the long from the low, but we never even came close, obviously. I mean, obviously, in pre-market we did at 6 o'clock this morning, but after that, nothing. So we are just lingering here. Yeah. Jofi, I appreciate you coming by. Sorry that this week's been a little weird. Next week's going to be also a little funky. I will keep everybody posted. I will be on Monday. We'll go through making sure that contracts get rolled. Keep everybody in check. My parents are coming in next week, so they use my office. I might try and stream a little bit if I get an opportunity. 1 or 2 of those days, just but quick. Yeah, so right now, like I said, nothing to do but kind of just wait, see what happens at these levels. I want to see if the overnight high, this previous overnight high, the 644 level where it was before midnight. Yeah, Absolutely. They do know. They know. Even if I get a chance, if I come on next week, one or two of those days that they're here, and I come in and just give levels out, give a plan for the day, I'll do that. If not, I'll probably at least be in chat, and I'll be on just trying to do my best to provide levels, provide value, do what I can, because it's not that I'm going to be in training or something like that. I'll be around. So I will keep you guys posted daily on what my plans are, what we're going to do. We've got the oldest's birthday next week, so that's also another driving factor on what we're doing. I believe there is a rule in Top Step on the funding that you have to make trades on your funded accounts. So I may execute something on my XFA today, very, very small, just to get a day in because I don't want them to think that I'm just not using the account, not trading. I think if you have like a long vacation or something where you don't want to trade, you could always message them and let them know, hey, don't close my account, please. I'm doing this, this, and this. I won't have internet or something like that. But they want you to trade, right? And I get it. I get it. So just be mindful of that. If you have like a bunch of XFAs and you don't trade them, there is a chance. I think it's a 30-day time frame. So just be mindful of that. See that break above this, right? This is kind of pretty clear what it was trying to do. Push up, pull back into VWAP, break through this bull flag type pullback, and then rally up through highs. Just not my strategy, not what I'm trying to do. I want to play this failure out. That's what I want to do, right? I want this to get up into that VWAP upper band here, maybe fail it, give me a nice strong close, then come back down and close right below it, within the next candle or so. Give me that failed delta. Give me that rising wedge over that level, something that's going to wind us up, right? Because Russell's way down. S&P's just barely broke above their opening range. So we are a little bit extended on the NQ, relative strength in the NASDAQ as opposed to the other indexes. NVIDIA is still pumping straight up, so that's another reason why. Where's that tilt? 63% long. Would like that to get a little bit longer. That's a nice reaction. I like the way that it's reacting there. That could be an indication that we may turn around. However, I need it to be up and over a little bit longer. I needed a little bit more of a sign in the delta saying that's aggressive to the sell side. Good. They were mad at each other earlier, so. We don't have any heating packs anywhere, right? We don't have any heating pads or anything. Do we have one? Don't we have one that we can plug in? Mm. Not trying to get trapped short. Just based on the way this, like I said, it's Friday. It's rollover. The grind is likely. I do think rotational days are more likely on a day like today, but it's also a Friday. So Fridays have been trend days, and we need to respect that Friday trend idea as well. So kind of just overall, I don't have conviction. I don't have confluence in a lot of things here. Russell's starting to curl up now, so that relative strength that the NQ was showing with other indexes trying to give themselves to kind of catch up. 40 to 22. That's good. I like it. I like it short. Everybody knows me. I love these short trades and the failed breakdowns. I don't trust it right now. S&P's now above VWAP holding. Nvidia breaking highs of the day. Uh, Russell trying to curl up. Delta still flat. Didn't quite give me a big divergence here. So I think the timing is still not there yet. It could be, and you guys could be right. But I think there's still that next push to the high side that and this market loves to just continue to fucking rally. It's crazy. And it's grind. It's grind. I like this thing to move fast. I want it to go and go quick. This is not the type of price action that gets me into it. I like the short, right? This is exactly what I like to look for. Right up that overnight high that was created prior to midnight. I should caveat. Just because it's so close to that previous day high, I feel like we need to get that previous day high cleared out before I want my short to kind of play out. Just making sure that that VWAP is correct. There's the crack of that low, that 20. So maybe that gives you that good flush. There it is, the nice little push. 2250. This is exactly what I look for, a little wedge pattern, although I wanted it up a little bit more. Good levels, though. No executions today as of yet. You do see this negative P&L here. That is from last night where I took an oil position and a gold position and a NASDAQ position, testing certain things out. That was drawn down a bit, and I got back to this level with the NASDAQ trades because I know the NASDAQ well enough to dig myself out of a little bit of a hole on the overnight with testing some of the other stuff. So I'm testing some other asset classes in order to try and diversify my ability to make trades on, let's say, like a day like today where, maybe I don't have something that I'm really interested in the S&Ps or NASDAQ, and I can go over to crude and I can take this trades, off the crude bounces and see what comes of it, right? Last night I tried to take a short somewhere around probably I can show the executions on here. Let me see. Show chart execution save. Last night I took, it switched back to the S&Ps. That's interesting. Took the short around what time? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I tried to short this. I got literally bottom ticked. Bottom ticked me here, ran up, and I got out there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not playing with that. And look at that. Could have been a really nice long, but I didn't understand the dynamics of crude and how it works. So that's just why I'm testing it there. And then I played the gold on that same time frame, and I try to short on gold, short gold off of the break retest type deal, and it rallied and stopped us out, and then it melted. So that was a good idea. That was a slow market idea, but also a bad idea because look at how high it's rallied since, right? So this is just testing dynamics of other markets. That's not what I'm actually trading on my funding accounts, but it's something I want to develop and start to learn. So that's why you'll see those executions. And then you can see the good executions here. This is where I got in and out. It's not that many entries. I don't know why it does that so many times. Took a few short here, banged that out, took a long here, and then rode that up and trailed it out. So, and then I took one short. That was the short here that I took that I just took $80 loss on because I just was like, I'm going to bed. But overall, it's weird. I guess it's with copier or something that it does. Yeah, I like the short. I like it a lot. I just don't trust it on this market right now. There's Nvidia starting to push. See what happens at this level here. I'm gonna get rid of these because they don't matter to me anymore. The next thing that really seems like it's kind of setting itself up is this support here. If that can crack and give you that break of the overnight low, still VWAP is over the top. You can see I don't have any executions today, so that red is from those tests from last night. Trying to be as transparent as possible with those. Is that a hot pack? You heated it? Can you just pop it on my bag? I got it. What is that? Like an ice pack? All right. Let's see if that helps the. Oh yeah. Okay. That works. Yeah. No, I got you. This I like the 3 minute. I bounce around between different time frames. Yeah, I'll feel it. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's not too hot. Yeah, I don't hate that entry. This is beautiful for me to. I love this as a short here from the overnight high. So 44 to 601. That's 40 points. You know, it's not terrible. The entry would have been here. Target VWAP, perfect. One contract gets you $800, $900. Targeting VWAP on the failed breakout of the overnight high. Right? This is what I look for time and time and time again. I just didn't have the full confluence on a Friday for me to take it after a week of not really trading consistently or appropriately, I should say. Being at training, bouncing around, all that fun stuff kind of doesn't help coming in here on Friday and just hammering buttons just to hammer them. S&P still just lingering around VWAP. Overnight high and overnight low are still extended away from the S&P, so still very flat, very rangy today. The NQ relatively has been strong compared to the other indexes, holding above VWAP, holding above the opening range. Russell still trying to make new lows. S&P is trying to push down, and the NQ is still holding up above VWAP. So that's the only thing. If it does eventually give up, it probably gives up with some force. Maybe that'll be my entry, getting through here. I don't like the VWAP there. Hopefully, Jovi, you're not taking it, so it's good. It's fine. It's great to test it and go emotionless on it and see what kind of notate that this is what happened here. I like this. Price action, everything kind of came in and did what I wanted it to do. And now I'm at a point where I can't even make an entry. You could have had a cheap short there. Delta is getting heavy, although not making new lows yet. High volume node here at 600. High volume node at 592, and then down into 580. So there's that heavy push. Delta breaking, acting in confluence. That's nice. I'm going to see maybe momentum takes this downside. Probably, let's see if we rotate all the way down into that low. Right? You rejected overnight highs, technical overnight lows all the way down here. So it's a good area to target. There you go, Jofi. There's that nice move for you. It's nice to know that you see it, that you're doing the right thing, that you're able to kind of come out here and call out your levels, call out what you're seeing, understand what you're doing, right? Even if you don't take the trades, right? Like right now, I didn't take it. I saw what was going on, but there were things that kept me out of it, right? Things that I, especially on a Friday, do not want to get myself involved with. So it's not a big deal to miss it. No FOMO on it, no nothing like that. But it's good to note the things that are what you notice and what is good for you. How many contracts are you trading at a time normally? Boys are having a good time. Yeah. I think 2 contracts for me is my sweet spot currently. When you get to a point where, so I'm leveraging these when you're watching me these weeks when I'm on my combines and just trying to pass them, I'm max leveraging them. You could take 5 on a 50K. You should not take 5 on a 50K when you're funded. I I like 2. 2 gives you that ability to take one off at your 1-to-1 or whatever and leave a runner on. That really maximizes your gains. Or you can run the full 2 if you know how to trail it. 1 contract, you got to be very precise. You got to take your base hits, and that's how you can build your buffer. And then once you start to size up, understand the dynamics of how you take profits, right? So right now, what I would like to see is if we get back up to here into that overnight low, it would be like a breakdown, a retest, a failed attempt to make a new high. Then I would like a short there, potentially for the break, retest, rotate. Low of the day is currently right here. So if you want to go with that, low of the day there. 57, 572.50. What? 557 quarter. Okay. So yeah. That would be the low. Low of the day there. Opening range. High is right here where we're at. That opening range, 42 ticks. So came down, wicked that opening range low, and now trying to push back into it. Russell did break through lows. S&Ps broke through lows. NQ did not break through lows. So still relatively strong. Does it continue to rotate down? Probably. And then I'm going to start to be interested. Like I said, I wouldn't be interested at this level. I'm more interested down here at overnight lows or previous day lows for a long idea to come in there. However, if it starts to get heavy and starts to carry that momentum, it can go. Yeah, 2 contracts. That's my ideal sweet spot, right? You could do that. You can make really good money on days with 2 contracts. Honestly, you can make really good money on micros. 5 micros, a half of a position. I will go to 2 contracts on a 50K after I've built a buffer. Usually after the 2K buffer is when I'll go 2 contracts. I'll just take my base hits up into 2K, and then I'll start to leverage up. As I mentioned in combines, though, a lot of times I'm running 3 on a combine, unless I'm just getting a feeler. Yeah, I've been debating back and forth. Like today, I might have to take 1 trade just because I don't want the account to disappear from inactivity. I don't think it's that, I'm just trying to save my accounts, my XFAs. So if I take a short or something, or take something with my XFA today, it'll probably be on a micro or 2 just to trade, just to have a day, just to make sure that they see activity in the account. I have a really good idea on risk. Yeah, it's 30 days, but I don't want to just even come close to it. I just want to make sure I reset that 30-day timer. This is where price was before when I decided that it was going to chop around and be in an area where I was uninterested, and we're back to the uninteresting area. NVIDIA is getting a little heavier. However, it's hitting some support at 131 and turn right from there. The algo, I need to really continue to edit the entries and exits. My levels are really starting to get better as far as the code is concerned. I finally got my VWAP right. I think my delta is working properly. Not certain. It's hard to code the delta. I have a little bit of issue with the overnight levels plotting. However, I'm not mad about them. They stop at midnight. So they plot all the way to midnight, and then midnight they stop recalculating. So I don't get the precise overnight levels that I like to use. So I do need to fix that. For some reason, the way the code works, it's not allowing it. It'll go all the way through the whole day from 1700 to 1700, or it'll stop at midnight. There's no in between. Or it'll start at midnight and go through the day. There's no in between. I can't get it to stop at 8:30, which is weird. So I'm working on it. I'm not saying I'm the best computer programmer in the world. Far from it. And I don't feel like hiring anybody to do it for me. So I am just having a good time with it. Sorry if I'm leaning back, if I'm kind of just lounging on you guys. If you can't hear me, let me know. I got a heating pad on my back, upper back. I got some spasms that's been happening over the last week or so. Training didn't help. Didn't hurt it, I don't think. It's just an annoying spasm that I got. And as I talk, usually the lower back I could deal with sitting and talking, but upper back, it'll just start to twinge on me. And this chair is great. Definitely not the chair. It just has to do with a lot of the overtime stuff. Yeah, that's true. Too much money. It's probably the gun belt. That's really what it is. The gun belt and the vest and the weighing down. That's just kind of how it goes. My career has been up and down with the way that my back feels. As you carry your vest and as you carry more and more on your belt, either sitting, standing, wandering around it really it pays a toll on your back health. Hell yeah, Ray. Any day, red to green, especially on a Friday, that's a win. If you fucking soon, Ray, soon. Did you guys win that tournament or what? Because you disappeared on me. I still got the table set up. All right, so this is where I would be likely to be starting to get interested. Although, like I said, that VWAP has just kind of trying to get this to repopulated, making sure that's correct. 595.57, 595, 596, 37. Yeah, it's pretty much right there. East Cobb, my favorite tournament as a kid. I liked. Get out of here, Jofi. I don't expect you to stay here. If you made your money on the day, get out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Come back strong Monday. Understand contract rollover. If you're in trade of 8, make sure it rolls. Make sure it rolls. You have to do it. There is auto roll functions, but keep tabs on it. Before you go, I want to make sure you understand CME group, NQ volume. This is the website. If you want to find open interest, I'm going to post it in here for you. This can show you which contract is going to be the front. This right here. This is the volume open interest. This is the June, right? This is September. This was as of Friday, I believe. So, as of yesterday. So once today closes, you'll start to see that this volume is going to dissipate. And then this volume is going to increase. When this volume overtakes this volume, that's when you know that that's the front contract now. This website is huge. It's big, really great value for a lot of different things. They give you tons of information for free. They give you education and stuff as well. So if you have any questions about futures or especially about the S&Ps and the NQ, you can find it there. But the CME group is a lot of different assets. So get in there and check it out. So I wanted to give that to you before you left, but now you can get out of here. Get going. Enjoy Dubai on a Friday. Cheers. Once again, still have not executed anything, and this is why, right? This is, to me, a sweep. in a range-bound choppy day, also in a week where we decide that we just continue to run up and run up and run up and run up despite any sort of information. As long as there was news, it was news, and it was going to push us green. I did anticipate this week to be something of this nature. We haven't been trading the last few days. The days we did trade, I mean, it was small little wins and losses. It's very algo-driven price action at all-time highs at a point where I can't confidently give you specific levels, specific things, except for previous day highs, lows, and stuff like that. That's why I use those levels. It does help me on a day-to-day basis, no matter where I am. However, the more confidence, the more confluence I have with longer-term levels, stuff like that, that will help us, make better decisions. I'm going to post that CME group link in the YouTube if you want it. If you're interested in futures at all and you haven't really got a good understanding of it, I gotta move this. Understand that CME group, CBOT, those are the two main futures houses. Go into the exchanges, and just go into the web page. This is going to tell you open interest. That's going to tell you which contract's going to be the front, right? All of these contracts are trading now, but obviously you can see March has 13 open. There's 2 open in December. People aren't trading those. Those are just so they're open, I guess. This is where we're switching from June to September. These contracts expire. Then they roll into the next one. They roll into the next one. It's continuous. It's equities. It's cash settled. You can see settlements. So if you want to come in here and see what the settlement was on this contract, we opened estimated total volume 677,000. Prior day open interest 259,000. So that's still the front month, right? You got your settlement from yesterday, your estimated volume, and your prior day open interest. Same thing here. So you're starting to see that volume tick up. Get all that information there. If you need to understand anything about futures, you've got an education tab here. You can learn everything. It's pretty much all free. I'm fairly certain there's not much that you have to pay for, if anything. Understanding contract roles, understanding contract trading codes. This will tell you like the month codes. It'll tell you all the stuff. It's so in-depth. This is why I don't create courses. I don't plan on doing it. Maybe I will in the future, but I'm not going to say never. But realistically, all of this information is laid out for you really well by the people who are the group that controls the contracts, right? They are the exchange. So they're going to tell you exactly what the information that you need to know, basic information, future stuff, all that stuff. If I go through here sometimes and just run through it again, just to, kind of get it back into my head, understanding certain things, getting myself together. So if you want the course stuff, if you need futures courses, I'm going to put it in the alerts tab, so it's up there. If you want to understand what futures are and you have no idea, this will break it down to you exactly how futures contracts are settled, right? Either cash settled or delivery. Equities are always cash settled. If you're trading grain or oil, you're going to have a commodity that's deliverable, right? So you got to understand those things on how you're actually executing these contracts. Realistically, as traders, we're not taking delivery on anything. So just understand that, you're not going to get delivery. But in theory, that's what these contracts are for. They're for people who are in the oil industry, in the natural gas industry, in the grain industry, in the coffee industry, and they're out there and they're using these future contracts to keep a stable price for future sales. That's really what it comes down to. So if you don't understand what futures are and you're just trading it just because it's a cool thing to trade, get into that education, start digging deep into understanding what you're trading and what you're getting into. And as I mentioned, I'm going to start trying to get into other asset classes: oil, crude, natural gas. Oil and crude are the same thing. Oil, natural gas, gold, platinum. Some of these other things that are very tradable. People make good livings on them. Even the bond futures. I want to start getting into some of those things, so I can provide a little bit more value to you guys as far as doing that. Maybe when I get another screen where I can set my stream up on the other stream, put it up there, and then have more than what I'm looking at on these charts. As a streamer and as a trader, it's slightly different on what I would like to have this set up as. But this works for the stream. This works for me for now for what we're doing. So I'm not too concerned. Platform to me matters a little bit. I mean, get comfortable with what you got, but be able to trade on anything. I have information on so many different things that I like that I would like to populate into one, and I know it's possible, but at the moment we're not really we're not doing that. So this is sideways choppy price action. I anticipated the bounce from this opening range low, relative strength. You started to see the Russell starting to give some buying pressure. S&Ps also started to get some buying pressure, got back over VWAP. So the follow through on the short here was not going to come through. That's just what's keeping me out. I will, in this next week's write-up, when I do write it up and send it out, I will include the links to the CME group. I'll include links to certain other maybe basic instructional videos to help people just understand what they're trading, because I think that'll really help the longer term, education and build a more well-rounded trader out of everybody. So NVIDIA looking to crack through highs again. We'll see if it does. And if NVIDIA goes up through highs, then we will go through highs on NQ. Microsoft also pushing highs. Apple still consolidating at 213. Let's check GameStop for fun. Funsies still stuck in the range between $27 and $30. So bouncing off 27. If you're a trader and you're a range-bound trader and you want to just kind of cash in on these, play the bounces off 27. If you want to front run it, 27.50. You can play those bounces, and then, if you're just going to sell pops, that's on you. If it decides to rip, then you're in. I would fade GameStop at $30.20 if that's what you're looking to fade. But if it breaks through there again, it probably runs up a little bit today. It probably has room up to $38.72. AMC right off of my entry price at $5.50 and straight back down to $5. So my 2 shares are not doing great. Let's see what the strategy tester is looking like. Just trying to short this high here. At least I know that the code is actually triggering entries and exits as far as testing is concerned. It's good. They're wrong. There's not the right entries, but at least it's there. You can see I'm giving it my go. Try your best at certain things. It's over trading, right? Because it's not waiting for these levels. But if it were to have been waiting for this red line once, twice, it would probably be pretty profitable today. Once. Rotate to that green line. So red line to green line, red line to green line, red line to green line, green line to red line. You basically could just be flipping it on a range bound day. This trade would work pretty well. So I need to be able to get it where it only enters above from this red line. I'm having it enter on delta divergences. So coding the delta and then having it understand what price is doing as opposed to what delta is doing is the difficult part for it to, comprehend. But until that's done, I'm just giving you little sneak peeks. And then when it is done, I'll give you the indicator. You can have it. Or maybe I'll sell it like all those other gurus. Make money off of that. Just going to trade, baby. I would like to short this. However, like I said, I don't have any reason to. This is just like a boredom type trade, right? So if you can do your best to avoid these boredom trades on a Friday, we're almost to 10 o'clock here. Maybe you'll start to get some action 10:30 with the Euro close coming in. Maybe I can get rid of those entries for my visual. Let's see. Signal labels, good. Those are gone. Quantity, gone. That's good. So now I got arrows. It'd be great if it can explain to you. If anybody's good at Pine Editor, let me know. I'll send you what I have for a base code, and then you could maybe adjust it for me, and we can tag team it. It's just good for everybody. This strategy works. If you could stay disciplined to it, it works. What has gotten me in trouble over the last month or so is basically just discipline issues, and forcing back in after, so when you take a withdrawal, I think, so even if you go over to Top Step TV, if you're familiar with some of those people within the prop community, Dakota is like their best trader. He's on there right now. He's talking. He took his account up to 200 something thousand, took his first withdrawal after all that time of like 100 and something thousand, whatever. The numbers really don't matter. But the fact of the matter is that once he took that withdrawal, he immediately started to enter into a drawdown period. And it seems to be the case. It's common. So when you do end up taking your withdrawal, I know you all will, if you haven't yet, or if you do consistently good, you have to understand there's got to be math to it. You have to do it in a way that's going to be appropriate, where you pull out the money that you're making, but also leave yourself enough room to trade. And then don't start to fall into the, I'm losing now. Don't fall into that trap. Stick to your same strategy. The numbers will be off because you took money, but you're still profitable. You're still good. So I got into that trap last time. I took the profit. I took my payout, and then I tried to make it right back. I did good, and then started to hit a little bit of period of drawdown because market conditions changed, right? I was observing the market conditions changing. I noticed it. I called it out. I talked about how they were acting slightly different. However, I wasn't adjusting myself, and I was being too tight. I was trying to just kind of clip base hits, really cut losses that were not really losers. I was cutting winners and then just paper cutting myself to death. And then once you start to get into that trap of that downfall, that drawdown within your combine, it kind of really limits your ability to dig back out of it. So come up with a plan, come up with a strategy with your withdrawal periods on how you're going to get rid of that feeling that you've lost, even though you've made money, right? It seems like a common thing that happens within the prop community. So understanding that process of, all right, I've made 3,000, I'm going to take 8, or I'm going to take 1,000 out, right? I'm going to take 1,000 out. Now I've got 2,000. Now I'm going to build back up and just continue to do that process over and over and over again. You still have that $2,000 that you had from the beginning. It's just letting it happen and then build it back up. Take your withdrawal and build it back up. Maybe don't take all of it, right? Keep that some in there. Keep some in there. Build that up. Build it so it comes, maybe the first time you take a withdrawal, you get up to 3,000, you take 1,000 out, you're back to 2,000. Maybe next time you wait till 3,500 and you take 1,000, you're back to 2,500, right? Start to build that little bit, right? Everything on top of that buffer, start to build that buffer up and up and up and up. And then eventually that buffer becomes 10,000. Right now that you're over 10,000, everything over 10,000, I'm going to take it. And then you're going to just leave that 10K in there. And then you never have anything to worry about, right? Especially if you don't oversize, over leverage, start to FOMO. Everything that you do as a human, we need to avoid that, right? So that's my rant for the day, my little piece of advice for those of you who are either on the cusp of taking withdrawals or have took withdrawals and done what I've done, right? I'm being up that certain amount, taking out withdrawal, building it up a little bit, getting right. Also, when you get to that, I need to make another day of this, don't fall into the trap of forcing that day. If that day is not there, if that day is not incoming, then don't take that trade because it's not necessary. if you're sticking to your plan and your strategy, that next $200 day will come organically, right? You've made it that far. You've already proven that your strategy works. You've proven that you can trade. Now just let it happen. I got to that point where I was up again and I was about to take the second withdrawal, and you forced in that too. I need a couple dollars, and then you lose it, lose it, and then you fall into that spiral. So don't fall into that spiral. Get everything the way you want it to be, and just be boring. If you can be boring, you're better off. This white line here is the low of the day. I'm eyeballing this a bit. Obviously, the high of the day is right here. You can see it. It's conjunction with the overnight high. This action here, right? Bounce, sweep of these lows, right? You got some longs involved. You swept the lows. Maybe their stops were there. You swept them. Now you're rotating back up. You pulled back to this quasi overnight low that I have here. That's not really anything. It's just a key level that I have. That 600 round number. It's just something that I was interested in because the overnight low is all the way down here at 502, 501, 5150, right? But we pulled back to this psychological level. Now we're bouncing back to it. If you kind of come back up, maybe a breakout of this, then you try to see if we can get a failed breakout of the overnight high. If we can fail this zone, then I'm more convinced that that's the timing that there may be a good short to come in. However, this price action with this rally here tells me that potentially there's another leg to the upside. I'm not convinced totally on the upside move. I don't think that we're going to be like in an expand. I think people have gone away. I think it's kind of in the slow Friday grindy action still continues. However, I just don't know who's going to be involved. This is probably the breakout area here. You do have the point of control right there. That is interesting as well, right? If you do get above that, the value area high is 49, and then the upper band of VWAP is at 64. That's the areas that I would be interested in shorts up there, because that would say, okay, we're going to break out, we're going to run, and then it doesn't. It fails it rotates back down. Then we're going to come back down to VWAP once again. And that's where I want to be in on a failed break up. But if it's going to continue, it should never really give us the failed breakout signal. It just appears to be a long, right? This move here was 229 ticks. So this move here, 229 ticks, 230 ticks right there, 262. So that 60 level is like a measured move on the sweep, right? Measured move here, measured move here. That gives you that idea. If it's going to fail this level here and rotate down, then maybe we could start to get through the lows, but don't see that right now yet. I like it. It would be great, but I don't think it's happening yet. I could really use a nice deep pullback for any entries. If I want to start looking for shorts, start looking for longs, any sort of thing. Anything up here in this no man's land chop session, I don't really want it was going to be good. All right, they're doing a fire drill. So if you want to sign up for this, sign up for this. You can get entered into getting smaller discounted combines. I'm always interested. I always submit the form. If they send it to me and I don't use it, so be it. If not, Ray, if you're on, grab that. Jofi was asking about when they do it. I just did it. Click that link and just send your information, because I don't know when they're going to send it out, but they're potentially going to send out a bunch of discounted combines. So Jofi was asking about how many combines. The first 25 eligible traders that sign up can lock up to 5 50K combines for $29 a month. So that's another discounted code. Here we go. If we can get this VWAP ever to get over this level. I don't like the trading view one. I'm trying to code my own. So there's this one on TradingView. I'm going to share you my code when I get a chance, when I'm done with it. And you'll have everything in it. So hopefully it'll have cumulative delta, it'll have VWAP, it'll have the VWAP that I have populated on my chart is slightly different than the one here. I don't like it. 613, 601, 597. Technically, it's, I don't know when it's running, to be honest. I got to figure out the data series, but it is close. You'll have overnight high, overnight low, previous day high, previous day low, VWAP, cumulative delta, and then it'll indicate when the divergence happens. So I'm trying to get that part coded out. I'm trying to do as much of it as possible by myself. I may have to try and get a little bit of help here and there. But once that's all done, I'm going to just give it away. And then you can pop it onto your TradingView charts, and then you'll have my strategy totally laid out for you, indicated, and ready to go. Right now, it's just plotting. I think it's the daily session on the VWAP. Let me see if I can change the settings. Inputs, the accumulation length, the period is 14. I don't know why it's 14. I don't know what a normal VWAP would be. Let's see if I could add a VWAP on here. What's the normal VWAP? Indication is down there, right? The regular 597. Yeah, that's the correct VWAP. Let's see. Session, inputs, band multiplier, offset 0, high, low, close, session, style, visibility, inputs, standard deviation. Currently, I'll give you this. This is what I'm looking at on here. My delta is not populated on here. I took it off as far as the delta is concerned. I don't want it plotted because it plots for some reason way down low on the actual chart, and so it makes my chart look funny. But I just put on an actual VWAP. This yellow line is the VWAP that I'm calculating, which I got to change my sessions to being maybe settings, period. Maybe I'll make it 1. Nope, that's not it. 24. So the longer I put it out, the better it gets. But I gotta really set it. Maybe I'll set it to 100. Does not change. So 14 it is. So this is just what I do. I mess with it. I'm trying to get it to go. But there is cumulative delta in the background. It's calculating. It's calculating as currently plot overnight low, overnight high, previous session low, previous session high. It's not on here. It would be this period here. Properties. Style. Plot overnight low, overnight high. So this is what I'm trying to get working correctly. But that's what you got as far as my indicator is concerned. Hopefully I can get it to work well for you guys, for myself, obviously, selfishly. This is brutal. The strategy likes to play with it. Made 100, made 70, made 100, made 145, made 35. It's currently sitting $5 in profit. So this is the strategy. Let's go down to, can you see it? The tester. So this is what, while it's running, this is the test. Currently today it's taking trades 35, 145, 170, 105. So it is trying to run a profit here. It's executing sort of according to the strategy, but not the best. I do want this to get better at what it's doing, right? This is all those ups and downs are entries and exits along certain things. It's not quite waiting for my entry criteria, so I'm just trying to fix it. So hopefully, Ray, we can get you the cumulative delta, get you everything ready, rocking and rolling. And like I said, maybe this weekend I'll try and do a lot of it. It's hard because on the weekend, price isn't actively doing anything, so I can't tell if it's doing things great in real time. Right now I can, and it's making money, but it's not doing it the right way. So I want to continue to adjust here and adjust there and get my VWAPs to be correct, get my overnight high and low to be correct. I may leave it the way it is with the overnight high and low, because the overnight high and low with the ending at midnight, there's a lot of reaction to midnight levels. So I'm not too concerned about that, especially if the overnight high and low, if we are in the range of the previous day lows and highs, like within the range, then I'm interested. But I don't want to go crazy with it. The 30-minute, it shows pretty nice, clean, not as many entries. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I also don't like bouncing back and forth, personally. Delta, right? I want this to be on my screen at all times. Like I said, if I do get a chance to update my screen layout, get another monitor, then I can have this elsewhere so I can see the delta. I use a lot of different information from different platforms that help my decision making. However, it doesn't quite help you if you're making that decision yourself, right? So I want to be able to provide that as far as just as that indicator is concerned. If I'm going to continue to code it out, let's go. We have made 0 trades today, Deck. No trades for us in this futures market because it's choppy and sideways. This is an overnight test. We are just nice and flat and even on a Friday, keeping people from over trading on this beautiful day. Hopefully next week we get a lot of nice price action we can work off of. We can get away from these all-time high levels and start to pump downside a little bit, get our shorts involved. NVIDIA is selling off from 131, so it just hit off on that level, that pre-market high. Hell yeah. NVIDIA coming down to 130.33. That's that gap up open low. So if it can flush that level, then maybe we get to lows of the day on NVIDIA. Then maybe that gives this overnight low, this yellow line. I'm going to keep calling it the overnight low. It's not. The overnight low. Maybe that gives us the confidence that this breaks this time and finally follows through. But NVIDIA needs to go. It can't. NVIDIA is the almighty driver of this NASDAQ right now. European close in about 15 minutes, so that's something to also keep in mind. Right? The profit taking is going to start to happen. Potentially could give us that nice little push down, or they could start to pump things into the weekend. We got to see what they want to do. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. While we're still in this choppy sideways lull of a mess of a Friday, I do want to remind you that I posted in here. I'll do it in the alerts, I guess. I don't know if the free reset's still good, but if you have or need a free reset, it is Hoag, H-O-A-G, free reset on Top Step. And then also I posted just now recently in here, just scroll up a little bit. There's a fire drill. They do that. If you sign up for that, the first 2,500 people, they'll give you discounted, I think, $29 combines. So if you can get into that form, click it, sign up, do what you got to do. That'll give you cheaper combines. You'll be able to leverage those a little bit and continue to do a little bit of maximizing your profit, your funding, right? So I always sign up for them. If I don't use them, I don't use them. But if they send them to me, at least I have them in case I need them. I use that one reset. So we do have 3 running right now on the copier. We have the funded account that I knew that this week was going to be a shitty week. So I was not trading the funded account. I was giving it some time to breathe. So you can see we're at 0. We're looking to maximize funding this month and try and get ourselves at least 3, if not 5 XFAs to be able to copy, leverage, withdraw, and still feel comfortable taking our base hits and walking away for the day. Right, so that's the way we're doing it over here. If you want to go dance the night away with Deck and the Short King, you can load up a Lightspeed account, and I have a code for you. If you use code COFFEE, Lightspeed and Day Trading Coffee Co. have partnered up, and we are providing access to their brokerage at a 3-month free discount, so you don't have to pay for the broker fees for 3 months. Great structure for the fees, all that, top locates, everything that you could ever need. And if you want to trade with Deck, if you want to trade with AK, if you want to trade SPY and Qs on my futures, with my futures levels, then potentially that's a good way to start, right? So I'll send that information out in a minute, but I'm kind of interested in what's going on right now with the way price has just sped up a bit. Like I said, we are coming into the Euro close at 10:30. I think that's when they decide to close. This is where we need to see if price is going to give us any sort of movement down below this VWAP and then into this opening range here. Absolutely, 100%. Um, Deck is probably one of the most real people out there as far as creating this whole platform. Obviously, he did it for traders. He's making something that's useful where you can go bounce around room to room to room and not have to search YouTube for guru, whatever you got to do, right? I'm in here just telling it how it is, right? I'm going to be honest with you, but also Deck's going to be honest with you. He's going to tell you how to do it the right way. AK is going to be honest with you. Yeah, buddy. Everybody in here is going to be doing things that are going to help you in different ways. I think realistically, he created this, and the more you think about it, he's giving you things for free for the most part. Especially even if you're paying for this, you're paying nothing for the value that you're getting out of Tradecaster, right? So obviously, to keep the lights on, you pay the bills to keep this. It's not free to run a website. It's not free to give this out. He's doing it out of his own pocket and out of his own love for actual traders trying to change their lives. So big shout out to Deck. And I always appreciate it when he stops by the room to check in on me to make sure I'm actually doing my job. I do this just to help everybody else who I know likes to trade and has a real life, right? That's what we're in here doing it. So now that rant's done, I still am interested in this. I like the consolidation. I like the way it's kind of dancing around a bit. I think that the short is still possible. 624 is short from 624. I think this is consolidating a bit to a point where it wants to pop. But like I said, Friday, rollover. Some of these other names have been weighed down. Russell has been pushed to the downside. That's a broader market index, small caps. So that's been pushing downside. S&P is trying to hold over the opening range, so potentially looking to push up higher, right? This is now looking to break through high of day if it can, which is right here. If S&P breaks through high of day, then I will watch that level there. Then the NQ is going to go. NVIDIA is rolling downside, though. That's holding the NQ from pushing back up. NVIDIA gets through that low, 130.30, basically. Then it'll probably look to get back through that gap. Yesterday's levels, yesterday's high was 129.79-ish. So if you call it 130, if NVIDIA gets below 130 and accepts into yesterday's range, watch the rotation even lower. Then we can see if this NQ will possibly pop to the downside some, and we can take one shot at it, give it a chance. I will shoot my shot. If it's a trade where I feel like it's going to be able to give me some movement, I'm going to drop 3 contracts on it, and then I'll shed a couple as I go. If it's something that I'm going to be a feeler for, I'll probably throw just one on there just to get involved. While I'm here, I'll throw that Day Trading Coffee Company link so you have the access to our partnership with Lightspeed. Here's the Lightspeed information. If you are interested in Lightspeed at all, click that link there. Find out more information. You'll get everything you need from that link in this website here. If you use code COFFEE, normally they request that you have $10,000 in equity. You can start an account with $5,000. No questions asked if you use this code. Obviously, you're getting 3 months free, 30-cent option contract, less than 0.2 of a cent per share, and $2.99 trade commissions. So very reasonable fees. The platform is super fast. This is what it looks like. You can set it up however you want. Once you start to get them, there are demos and stuff like that, so you can get a feel for it. I know Deck has taught a lot about how to set up Lightspeed, how to set up your accounts. So if you need to go over there, find out. When I traded with T3, I was using Lightspeed and I was using Sterling, both of which are owned by Lightspeed. So they are really, really a professional platform. Use it to your advantage. Great short locates. reasonable pricing. You can't go wrong with Lightspeed. I really believe that, in my opinion, that they're one of the best in the game. And the more that we can get people over there, the more we can prove that we are a good partner. And as I said, as we sell more coffee, we will be giving away funded accounts. That's my goal with everything. If you don't find this link here, if you ever need to, you could always go to my website, daytradingcoffeeco.com, go over to the partnership page, which is right there, and you have all of our links that we have that help you find where we send people for good information. If you are so interested and you need some trading fuel, we do have 10 different coffee roasts available, right? Blend starting from decaf all the way up to espresso, dark roast, light roast, medium roasts. Our best sellers currently are Scalpers Delight Dark Roast, my favorite. I like dark roast a lot. This is our darkest and our most flavorful roast. And then also lately, we have been seeing people really getting into the VWAP Bounce Guatemala. So the Guatemala has a really good flavor profile. It's a slightly lighter, but it's got really good flavors that you can take advantage of with your brewing techniques. Just depends on your taste. I love all of them, honestly. I'm not really going to say that one's so much better than the other, but it's really just depending on taste. So that's why we're offering as much as we can. And obviously the short squeeze espresso is an espresso. It's great. K-Cups we do offer in the Scalpers currently, and I am setting it up where we can offer it in VWAP as well. But if you are interested in K-Cups, you could always send us an email or through contacts and tell us that you want the VWAP, and I'll make the VWAP ones for you. No questions asked. We do have great swag as well. If you want to come into the swag shop, we got glasses, hats, bags, mugs, anything you could possibly want to represent your brand that you love to drink the coffee of or whatnot, right? My favorite shirts, wear them all the time. Futures of Coffee, I got that one on right now. This is the Caffeination Bowl mug. Go with this Bullish on Profit mug is offered in gold and silver. So we got that. We got the Bears vs. Bulls Fight Night tee that I designed there. So lots of fun stuff. Like I said, if you're interested, use code PolicingPips and you'll get 15% off your order. Always. No questions asked there either. So hit that link. Check it out while we're on a little lull on our idea here where price is going between 2 points and not going anywhere. It's 20 points, but I'm just messing around. So there's the information that you could need for today going into the weekend. Get yourself some coffee, get yourself some trading fuel, click over to Lightspeed, get yourself acquainted with the top of the line brokerage that they got over there. I do plan on doing some videos of, kind of what they have to offer. I don't trade with them currently. I have traded with them in the past, so I can be transparent about that. I don't want you to think that, hey, where's your Lightspeed, right? Go over to Deck's room, go over to AK's room. They're trading on Lightspeed. That's where they're getting their fills from. I just personally have a relationship with them with the coffee company, and we are looking to eventually give, like I said, the profit, 10% of profits into the funding fund, which I want to try and give away to well-deserved traders that need the money, and that's really where we're at, right? Underfunded traders, something where we could provide value to people. I do have a coffee shop idea for the future. It would be coffee shop / co-trading space, maybe even prop floor type deal where if we're making money in the coffee, we're giving 10% back to people who really want to come in, learn how to trade. Maybe they do it in person with us at the coffee shop. So try and create more of a trading experience again, bring back in-person people, talking to people. So that's where I'm at, kind of keeping my ideas transparent with you guys, and hopefully it can give you a good example of what we're trying to do with the coffee company. So the more we can sell coffee online and do all that stuff, the bigger we can get, and the more we can give back to the trading community. All right. There is an education tab in here as well. So if you need anything, this is where all of my write-ups are going to be. I'm going to send out the weekly analysis here every week. As you can see, starting this week, I did it here. I've been doing it on Google Docs, but I think this is easier to share. You can see it better. Come into here, check out our weekly write-up, right? Everything I had to say about this week coming up, it basically reflected exactly what happened. and we just kind of go from there. Microsoft, Apple, NASDAQ, this didn't load, NVIDIA, right? Talking about stock splits, everything that you needed to know was in here for the week. You could always send us, go through it. If you want to be interested, if there's anything you want to be included or anything like that, go to the form at the very bottom, put your name and email, and just say you like it, you don't like it, you want this, you want more analysis on GameStop, you want more analysis on NVIDIA, you want more S&P levels because you trade S&P as opposed to NASDAQ, you want oil levels, let me know. I'll start to include more and more into that if people want it. For now, I'm going to just continue to do my weekly prep and just send it in there. $10.30, still have not executed any trades. I have no reason to, right? We're right between these two levels. I need something to tell me that I need to enter. Euro's closed, price action is flat, volume has diminished. Really, I have nothing for you as far as levels are concerned. This is it right here, 30 to 600 basically. So we're stuck in this 30-point little range. Maybe you get a breakdown here of this rising wedge with the overhead resistance, or maybe you get the breakout above, right? Charles, I'll talk to you later. Hopefully you made some money this week. Next week, Monday, back on at 8:30. I am going to send that right up as early as I can Sunday night, so you have it ready to go either for Monday morning, or if you're up late on Sunday night, you'll have it. I'm going to try my best. Like I said, as soon as I get home, I type it up. As long as I don't get out of work late, I will have it available to you for the week ahead. I would like to do it earlier in the day, but maybe we'll see if I could do it in the morning before work so you guys have access to it for the whole Sunday session. But I usually like to do it after the market opens, which is 6 o'clock here or 5 o'clock here on Sunday, and I'm already at work at that point. So I will keep it in there, and I'll always post it in here. I'll come in, set it in the chat, set it in the alerts. It'll be in the YouTube. It'll be in my Instagram at Policing Pips and Day Trading Coffee Co. on the website. You can always go into there, click the education tab, and just check to see if it's up. I'm pretty happy with just sitting on my hands today. Flat on the day. Obviously, it says negative on there on the top. I was messing with. See you Monday morning, Charles. I'll see you. Yeah. We have no executions on this session at all. We're not going to just to trade, but if we maybe reach one of these levels, we'll start to be interested. NVIDIA is selling. I like it below 130 to start initiating sells in the NASDAQ. But like I said, we need to get through this 600 level before I'm interested. And above 644, maybe a wick above it and a failed breakout gives me the opportunity to get a short up at these levels, which would be more ideal. Either way, I'm not looking for a long at this point. I think we're more range bound, flat, rollover, profit taking from a pump of a week. This is where we executed overnight. This is just doubled and tripled for some reason. Not that many orders. Top Step X's plotting is weird. I think it has to do with the trade copier. I took a trade in just reviewing last night. If you want to know why it's down 219, I was testing ideas in crude, trying to just get involved, see how price acts overnight, see what the tick values are, how much everything is worth, in real time, understanding risk to reward with how it manipulates. I did the same thing in gold, both of which, you're going to lose when you don't have a plan on them. I could have won, but whatever. It's just kind of a test account there. And then we took a really nice trade in the NASDAQ, got it all back, and then we're sitting most of it back. We got that pretty much that we're down that gold trade.
That's where my red box is. It's from last night. It's not from today. We have 0 executions on the session while we've been live. You can go back, rewind, and see if you need to not believe us. But everybody in here has been pretty much either up for the day, small, or no executions. Or if you're a Jofi, you're up 1,000 and you're out. I am just waiting and watching Friday choppy price action. This slow, grindy action usually leads to some sort of high or low to kind of just start to grind and push that way. So if we choose to go this way, then we probably could rotate into that 57. Delta is pretty flat. Russell's trying to maybe break through the low of pre-market there at 2005. That'd be nice. That might help us out a little bit. So now we're starting to get a little heavier. If his breaks and gives up, watch the overnight low. If we can get through here, then that's where I'll be interested. Like I said here, this wanted to come back. If it was going to fail, then maybe I was interested. But it looked strong, and then it really didn't give you any chance to even consider trying to get short, which is good. I mean, it keeps you out of playing that fade. If you can get it to actually break down this time, right? We break down and break through, then maybe you get that full push to that 57, right? With VWAP finally probably hopefully ticking back above it, that would make our life a little bit easier. I'm going to refresh this just real quick just to make sure that the levels are correct. You know, sometimes they are not. There we go. So we are looking to break through this. I would like to see 600 give up. I'll stop sell 3 below this low. If it's going to whip me in, whip me out, then so be it. But we're going to give it a shot. So we're short here. We're going to give it a shot. Giving the short a shot. Give it a little bit of a chance to dance around. And then I'm going to tighten the stop up quick. Once I get a break through my level, then I'll move the stop to the overnight low, and then I'll start to trail it through into break even. If it's going to bounce, it's probably going to go quickly, so we might get stopped out, but I just want to see if it'll go. Nvidia's still a little bit heavy, so we should still be okay here. Waiting for it to go. Give me another candle to. I'll limit it over that candle. If it pops that candle, then I'll be out anyway. So I want it to go quickly on that type of breakdown. There we go. There's a nice flush. Let's see if it'll hold now. I'm going to go just above this. Oh, just above this candle here. That's my risk. This candle on the breakdown. So let's see if we can get heavy or it's going to bounce from VWAP. VWAP never adjusted over the overnight low. This is more of a shot. Is it going to bounce? It's probably going to bounce off of this. Here we go. Give me that heaviness. Delta trying to be heavy. Now we're getting a little bit of buying on there. Sitting right on VWAP. There's a crack. There's a crack. Nice. Let's see if it'll hold. Now I'm going to go over that. I don't want to risk too much over that level. Super tight on the stop. See if it'll fall. Oh, flush down, baby. Come on now. There we go. There's the flush. Really nice breakdown on that. All right. That's a good break. I would like to maybe take one off here. Limit buy there. Take one off at 88. Come on out. Fill that one at 88. There you go. Filled one. I'll buy one here if it's going to go to 575. Probably, actually, I want to get filled there at 578. So we'll see that short. We realized that much. Okay. Free trade. I've secured at least 160 on that, and I've secured the first was 200. We took 200 off on that. So basically we went from that red to green on the day. I think we should still see this to go downside. I'm going to take off these executions because they're distracting. I'm cool with taking off this 160 if it does come back up. However, I would like it to give it some chance, but this is very whippy here. This is a chance where it could bounce and stop us out all the way up top. So I would just take this money and run on that. If it's going to keep me in, then cool. If it's going to stop me out, then cool. Either way. So it's still pretty heavy. That's nice and heavy. There we're out. All right. So we went from red to green. The true profit on that is 367. So we're up 367 on that trade. Very, very nice. Can't be mad at that. 127. I'm sure it'll continue to flush. I could have held it a little bit longer, maybe down to here, and left it at VWAP. But I was very happy with going red to green on the day from that overnight nonsense that I was trading with the crude and whatnot. Crude and gold. So we waited all day to take one quick little hit there. I definitely could have let this thing rotate all the way down to 57. Probably would have got filled on this next one at 78. That was a really good trade there. But as I mentioned, I'm just going to trail it down as I go. I mean, realistically, could have easily bounced from there and just skyrocketed. So I'll take my red to green, take my base hit, take my $300, right? Because now if I do this across these three accounts, 346 here, 367 there, and this one's up 127 because it was down. I wasn't copying those oil trades and the gold trade, right? So there you go. That's how you go and take your day and go into Friday, go into the weekend with a nice little win. I'll keep that one up there because that's the actual trade that we made. You just take the quick break of the level, let it go. Yeah, you had a delta, not necessarily divergence per se. Up at the top you did because you're trying to make new highs, but you never did. This was a good short from the high. I was anticipating the breakdown of there, but I wanted to really see the flush from 600, which is what we got, right? That's when we started to see the heavier movement, heavier delta. Price was pushing down. Obviously, we would have gotten filled on our second contract right there. So 2 off if we would have just left it at break even. This is just kind of talking through the trade management for me. But realistically, I was just going candle to candle after I took that first contract off, and then just trailing out those last two. I could have been a little bit wider on it, let it go, but I'm gonna go ahead and take my 367 across three accounts. Right, that's where we're at with this. You could trade copy that 5 times. Let me know how you do. And if you trade copy this whole move, right? If I would have done a little bit better of leave it at break even. If I was scared, go to church. Scared, go to church. Maybe take the second contract off then, and then leave that third contract on. Really, it's just trade management, it's ideas. I think down into 57 is likely, especially the way Nvidia is acting, right? Just tagged off on highs of of yesterday. So 129.75 is 129.80. So now it's at that high. This could be the bounce point for that, or it could be the flush point. So be mindful if Nvidia continues to crack, then you could still hold this. Hopefully you are still holding. If you are somebody who is short from higher up, you're in the money quite nice, right? You could see started to see price speed up. I was mentioning prices speeding up. You're getting a little bit of an interest. This is where I'm getting interested, right? Why am I getting interested? I can see it on the DOM. I can see price action starting to get something wanted to happen, right? You started to see S&Ps roll over. You started to see this roll. I'm maybe giving up some profit by not taking it from that 30 level, but I didn't have a level there. I had a level here. I'm going to play my level. I'm going to play the breakdown of it, get that quick pull to the other end, see what happens. Maybe you get another entry. Maybe you don't. I got 10 minutes left in the stream. I probably won't get another entry. I'm okay with taking this and into the weekend being very happy with that, right? 367 on a brand new resetted account and a brand new 3 accounts there. So we're going to do that. We have the XFA. We need to maybe take a trade on it on a micro or something. Maybe I'll take one, but right now I'm not looking to enter anything because I'm away from my levels. But we have VWAP now. We are below it. So maybe we come back, we retest that overnight low, and VWAP will be above it or be right in that area where it's interesting to come back in, retest, and short that. But that's that 600 level. I think it probably gives up. We are at the bottom end of VWAP. Opening range low, finally breaking down. So opening range low breakdown. Now you can see a heaviness come in. You can see these levels make sense. They're not just arbitrary. They do have reaction, right? There's the break of the overnight low, the opening range low. Now you're going to try and push the low of the day. As I mentioned, overnight low to this white line pretty much without much resistance, right? This is a 1 minute chart and it's no pullbacks. I got wicked on this one, but that's just me on my trails. Otherwise, pretty good. That's a good trade, good call out. So hopefully you saw it, you entered, you exit, you took some off. Don't be greedy on a Friday. Don't be greedy on a day that you notice that it's been choppy the whole time. Yes, maybe you can get more out of it, but understand your probabilities, understand what you're trying to do. There's the bounce, right? So you got that opening range bottom, flushed the bottom, got heavy, and now you're reacting above it. So this could be another sweep, rotate, right? Don't get greedy. Understand what type of day we're in. Let's go with that short. That was a beautiful short. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten that second contract off before getting stopped out, so it would have been another 200. But overall, probably would have ended up definitely getting stopped totally, completely out by 76. I would have ended up trailing to that low after I got stopped. But we got stopped where we did. So we'll show our one execution for the day now that it's done. Day is done. Show chart execution, save, bang. There you go. Short 3 right here. Got one off right there. Right here. And then trailed out the rest there. One at 9588 and one at 95594. Yeah, I was just over this candle here, got wicked out, and then there's that rotation down, which is fine. Shit happens. But that's the reactive nature of the bottom end of these candles here. I kind of want to pass a account with the lean hogs. So I can get myself a Stetson. Yeah, I don't, I can't use the trading view indicators per se unless I have it all coded out. Like I said, I'm going to probably be done for the day. 10:55. We're going to lock out these accounts. I don't want to take any more of these. Maybe I'll get a delta divergence on this. Let's see. Delta pushing up over VWAP. See if we can get a rejection of the VWAP. But that was a nice, real V bottom. Like somebody bigger buyer, a bigger buyer is definitely down here looking to catch that liquidity. So I'm not convinced that this is going to fail this level again. But it could. Definitely could. Come on, my phone's not working. So there's a push up over that low. Back above VWAP. S&P's back above VWAP. NVIDIA grabbed all that liquidity there and started to push back up, right back to that gap area from yesterday into today's open. I think potentially we can see if NVIDIA is going to squeeze. This may squeeze us all the way up. So watch out. Don't just short this just to short it because you need something else telling you to go short. Apparently Monday will probably be crappy price action with the roll. So if we are trading Monday, we're going to be cautious just like we were today. All right. You can see this big wick tail on the 30-minute here, right? Kind of sucked up all that liquidity. This is that overnight low, technically, at 600. I don't know why it's populating there. 601 even, back above it. Want to pop above it. If we're going to hold, we need to see if this 30-minute candle will hold this to rotate you back through highs. If you break through the high of this 30-minute candle at 632, obviously anticipate the overnight highs and previous day highs coming in. So this big wick on the bottom, just be mindful of that, as you know, that's how the V bottoms look on a 30-minute. So I have no indicators on my chart really right now. Surprised. The one I just showed, I'm developing that. That's a code that I am writing myself. Everything that's going to be on that chart, you should probably ignore that chart that I just showed, the trading view chart. This is my actual trading chart here that I execute on, that I use as far as levels are concerned. All I do supervised is previous day high, previous day low, overnight high, and overnight low. This overnight low is relatively different than normal. Most of the time, my overnight low is going to be down here, but since it's so close to previous day low, I use the pre-midnight level that was kind of reactive that I adjust. So I kind of adjust my levels. The yellow line here is VWAP, and then I have volume on the bottom. The other indicator that I really use, surprised, I keep messing up, is cumulative delta, and I use that on my Quant Tower platform. So you'll see me bounce back and forth from Quant Tower over to Top Step X just to see my delta. I do have opening range here, these red and blue lines. That's the 1 minute opening range. I find that to be very reactive, so that's on the chart. If you're on if we're on this chart here, it'll be this yellow line is VWAP. The upper band and lower band of VWAP are just one standard deviation out of that VWAP. So that's where price likes to kind of hang around if it's not trending. There's a lot of reaction on the upper and the lower band. I will create videos if you want. My thought process is I'm trying to code up an indicator that gives us all that information right here on TradingView so you guys can have access to it. I'm going to go here, Control 8. That's it, right? Am I on that screen? Okay, so this is going to show you what I'm trying to code out. This up and down arrows, I'm trying to get my entries to be better. They're not correctly populating, but at the moment, just ignore the up and down arrows. Honestly, let's go with settings, and we'll get rid of those. So what I'm trying to do is have TradingView plot the levels automatically. Blue line is previous session high, orange line previous session low, overnight high, overnight low, and the yellow line is a VWAP that I have developed, which is slightly off. I plotted my own the actual VWAP, right? So that's where it's at. That's the session-based VWAP there. And these other lines, blue and red, orange, blue, red, orange, and green are the levels that I've coded in. So I'm finally getting my overnight levels to get coded in. I'm plotting them throughout the session. Now the next phase is to get my algorithm to actually wait for the levels and not plot entries based on the random zones. Just kind of bugging it out. So surprised. Once I'm actually done coding this, I will get it to you guys and I'll let you guys have it as an indicator. I don't care. I'm not trying to sell it or anything like that, but it's going to basically plot out my strategy that I execute time and time again here. So surprised. If you are interested, like it, subscribe to the channel, head over to tradecaster.com if you want to be a part of that. It's 7-day free trial over there. I'll send the link in. You can come be a part of my lobby. I'm free. Once your 7-day free trial is up, you could always be in there, hang around, and be part of the conversation. A lot of good questions get asked over there. This is Tradecaster here. It shows my lobby, all of our conversation, everything we got going on, any alerts that I have, my streaming schedule. I have some TradingView charts in here, so you don't have to really go off or anything. You can add notes, all that fun stuff. And you can check out other people's lobbies as well here. These are all everybody who's live right now. This is people who are just in their chat, but it's just a good place where you can find all this trading all the time. You got videos, tons of education. I have no education in here currently, but I will be working on it. Here's your pricing on it if you do end up purchasing it. Time and time again, there are giveaways. Monthly, I will look to do giveaways as well to try and give people access to these accounts. So as Deck allows us to, I will get some videos, some of what we have going on over there. So that's Tradecaster. If you are interested in it, click that link in YouTube. Otherwise, I am off. I'm done. 11 o'clock is here. I got to get ready to go to the day job. If you don't know what it is, you haven't been around, just check the name on the bio. You'll figure it out on your own. I have had training all week. This week has been a little bit choppy. Next week is also going to be a little bit off. Our next real full week of streaming and everything is going to be 2 weeks from now. Hell yeah. I love to see it. If you're interested in trading, it's definitely a way to change things up and eventually get out of that uniform or whatever you want to do. We do futures here, but I do analyze equities, Mag 7 names such as NVIDIA. Like I use that as my leading indicator at the moment. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, always having levels up. Like you mentioned, the indicator stuff, I will do videos on the indicators. I will do lots of things that will help out as far as kind of getting people into what I do on a day-to-day basis. So when I do set up those videos, I'll let you know. Like I said, overall, we were very patient today. Didn't really have any entries except for when I decided that this breakdown was probably going to be the time where you at least get a decent flush out of it, which we did. We got, down to not quite to the low of the day. I trailed out pretty quick, got one contract off, and then just trailed the rest. Went red to green, took out 367 on it, so I'll take it. Trading futures, NQ, fully funded prop trader. Haven't been trading this XFA. I've been trying to just build up on these combines to try and leverage out how many accounts I got. So right now, that's what we're doing because I know June is a shitty month to trade. So rollover this weekend, likely Monday, new contract. Front contract will be September. The June contract will probably diminish in volume. And I'd say Monday or Tuesday probably will be the end of it. I'll let you know when the roll pretty much is done. Right now we are still in the June contract. So keep trading the NQM 2024 if that's what you're doing. The kids are now home. The wife is here. I'm going to get ready for work. Hopefully everybody has a good day. Until Monday, I'll be on here Monday for sure, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. If you have any questions, otherwise I'll be popping off here. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to go ahead and lock out these accounts just to show you that we're not doing anymore. We're going to lock it out. Manual lockout button says lock me out. No more trades for the day. No FOMO. Secure the money. Be done and move on. So if nobody's got anything else, we will move on to the weekend and I'll send out that chat.
And I got the thing for you.
Say hi. Say goodbye to everybody.
I got the thing for you.
You got the things for my back? Come on, say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Hi.
Say goodbye.
Hi, traders, and goodbye.
Hi, traders, and goodbye. Don't push any buttons, you silly goose.
Hi, traders.
Hi.
Traders.
Yeah, you're happy.
Hi,
Same to you.
traders.
Same to you guys. Say bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Why is it red? Green and red. Green and red.
Green and red.
Father's Day for all the fathers.
Yes, happy Father's Day. I forgot it's Father's Day. So enjoy Father's Day weekend. I'll talk to you guys later.
Daddy,
Deuces.
Daddy, are we gonna go check out the turtles?
Yeah.